Hello students, today I'll be teaching you the formation of body cavities and diaphragm. So in this we'll be covering the competency. You should be able to describe the development and congenital anomalies of diaphragm. So under that, our specific learning objectives are that you should be able to describe the development of the pericardial cavity, the pleural cavity and the peritoneal cavity, and then you should be able to describe the development of diaphragm along with its factors producing the descent of the diaphragm and various congenital anomalies related to the diaphragm. So I've divided my lecture into two sections. Firstly, we'll be dealing with the formation of body cavities and the mesentery, and secondly, the diaphragm. So firstly, the formation of body cavities and the mesentery. So this is a trilaminar germ disc. Over here you can see this is a third week embryo, and there is a development of small intercellular spaces in the lateral plate mesoderm, which is given rise to the formation of intraembryonic coelom. So over here, these are the two limbs of the intraembryonic coelom communicating with the chorionic cavity. Over here, this is the oropharyngeal membrane where the ectoderm is closely adherent to the endoderm and mesoderm is not there. Ahead of this is a pericardial bar or the cardiogenic area. Then is the central part of this intraembryonic coelom, and there ahead of this is the septum transversum. This is also mesodermal in origin. So over here, this one is the lateral plate mesoderm. The mesoderm had arranged itself into a paraaxial mesoderm, the intermediate mesoderm, which is mainly prominent into the trunk area, and a lateral plate mesoderm, which is mainly going to form the musculature of our limbs and the body wall. Now there are small clefts, they will appear in this lateral plate mesoderm, and they will form a U-shaped primitive intraembryonic coelom after fusing. Then there is a central part of this intraembryonic coelom which is known as pericardial sac, and then there are two limbs of the intraembryonic coelom. These are known as coelomic ducts. Now the coelomic ducts, they are communicating to the chorionic cavity for better nutrition of the developing embryo. So over here you can see the intraembryonic coelom. It has become the embryonic body cavity, and it is defined into three well-defined cavities. That is a central primitive pericardial cavity, the two pericardio peritoneal canals. Since it is these canals, they are communicating the pericardial cavity to the primitive limbs of the peritoneal cavity. Then after the lateral folding, the two limbs of the coelomic ducts. These two limbs, they will fuse in the midline and they will form a single peritoneal cavity. So over here you can see this one is the lateral folding. This one is a central part. This one is the embryo. This one is the amniotic cavity. This one is the yolk sac. तो अब जब lateral folding होगी तब ये yolk sac जो है ये फीटस के अंदर और द डेवलपिंग एम्ब्रियो के अंदर इनकॉर्पोरेट होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. So over here you can see this yolk sac is being incorporated inside the folding embryo, and these are the small clefts. They have appeared in the lateral plate mesoderm. This one is the neural tube, which is nothing but the ectoderm has it has uh, organized itself into, or it is differentiated into a neuroectoderm, which will form the neural tube and the central nervous system of our body. These are the neural crest cells. Beneath is the notochord, right? And now over here the neural crest cells, they have detached. Now the intraembryonic coelom, it has started forming. The clefts have fused with each other. So now the intraembryonic coelom has appeared. Now this has divided this lateral plate mesoderm into two parts: the outer somatopleuric mesoderm, which will cover the which will lie in close proximity with the ectoderm and which will lie in the amniotic cavity, and then the splanchnopluric mesoderm, which is lying in close proximity to the endoderm. So this yolk sac was lined by endoderm, and this amniotic cavity, it was lined by ectoderm, right? So over here, excuse me, the two peritoneal cavities on the limbs of the coelomic duct, they have fused in the midline, and they have formed one single peritoneal cavity. So now, how the somatopleuric mesoderm and splanchnopluric mesoderm, I have already told you that because of the formation of intraembryonic coelom, it has splitted the intraembryonic mesoderm. This is a cut section of the embryo. So this one is the paraxial mesoderm, this one is the intermediate, and this one is the lateral plate mesoderm. Here the clefts are appearing. So now this is splitted this lateral plate mesoderm into a somatopleuric mesoderm, which is laterally continuous with the which is continuous with the extraembryonic mesoderm, and it is lining the wall of the amniotic cavity, and a splanchnopluric mesoderm, which is in contact with the endoderm, which is this endoderm is lining the yolk sac. So throughout this lecture, you have to keep in mind that is before the head fold, the the sequence of the mesodermal structure is like this. First is the septum transversum, then is the pericardial cavity with the cardiogenic area, and then is our oropharyngeal membrane, right? So after the head fold, this septum transversum is moving ventrally as well as caudally. So this stomodium will become a head of all these structures. The cardiogenic area along with the pericardial cavity, first it is dorsally, now it will be situated ventral to this cardiogenic area, and the septum transversum will come to lie caudal to this cardiogenic area. So because what are the changes due to the formation of the embryonic fold, जो क्रेनियोकॉर्डल फोल्डिंग होगी उससे क्या हुआ, जो स्टोमोडियम है वो हमारा सबसे आगे आ गया, उसके बाद हमारा कार्डियोजेनिक एरिया विद द पेरिकार्डियल कैविटी आ गया, और सेप्टम ट्रांसवर्सम सबसे पीछे चला गया. सो एम्ब्रियोनिक फोल्ड्स, दे चेंजेस द ओरिएंटेशन ऑफ आवर coelomic cavity, right? The head, because of the head fold, the pericardial sac, it has moved ventral to the foregut. This is the foregut. This one is the yolk sac. So yolk sac, it is being incorporated into the embryo. It will form the primitive gut. Now the part which is communicating with this primitive gut, the part opposing it will form the midgut. Ahead to this will form the foregut, and behind this, which is in the tail fold, will form the hindgut, right? So this hole is the foregut, which will give rise to the lung bud also. Okay. So the pericardial sac, it will come because of the head folding. It will lie ventral to this foregut. Initially, it was ahead of it. Now it is lying ventral to it. That is between the stomodium cranially and septum transversum caudally. So lateral folds, it causes ventral fusion of the two coelomic ducts, two limbs of the coelomic ducts, and it will result in the formation of the peritoneal cavity. Now there are pericardio-peritoneal canals, two pericardio-peritoneal canals. They are communicating this primitive pericardial cavity to this peritoneal cavity, and they are present on the two sides of the developing foregut. Okay, you have to keep this in mind because these are the future pleural cavities, as lung bud will appear over here and it will invaginate into these pericardio-peritoneal canal. Over here you can see this one is the foregut. It is given excuse me, tracheal part of the laryngotracheal diverticulum will be forming. So it is giving rise to the lung bud over here, which will form the lungs over here, which will invaginate into these pericardio-peritoneal canals. Now over here you can have a better look at this diagram, which is showing that stomodium, it is bounding this pericardial cavity and the heart anteriorly, and the septum transversum, now because of the head fold, is positioned caudal to this cardiogenic area and the pericardial cavity. So how the pleural cavities are formed? So this was the foregut. So the two lung buds, they arise from this foregut and they will invaginate the pericardio-peritoneal canals. Now because the lung bud is continuously growing, so it will cause uh, these lung buds, they will invaginate into these pericardio-peritoneal canals and they will expand, the lungs will expand and they will form these pleural cavities. It will form a space for itself. So this space is known as the pleural cavity. So there are two layers of the pleural cavity. The inner one, it it will form the visceral lining or the lining of the lung, and outer one is forming the parietal layer of the pleura. So there are two layers of the pleura, the parietal layer and the visceral layer. So visceral layer is always derived from the splanchnopluric mesoderm, right? Now the partitioning of the intraembryonic coelom. So, to form the definitive pericardial, pleural, and the peritoneal cavities from a single intraembryonic coelom, three partitions will develop. These are paired pleuropericardial membranes and a diaphragm. So, over here, this is only one side of the pericardial cavity joined with the प्लूरल कैविटी विद द पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल. ये केवल एक तरफ का लिम्ब दिखाया, ठीक है. सो अ पार्टीशन फॉर्म्स इन ईच पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल that separates the pericardial cavity from the peritoneal cavity. So with the growth of the lung bud into this pericardio-peritoneal canal, a pair of membranous ridges is produced in its lateral wall, and there is a cranial ridge and a caudal ridge. So cranial ridge is known as pleuropericardial fold, which is above the developing lung, and a caudal ridge is known as pleuroperitoneal fold. ठीक है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ द डेवलपिंग लंग, इसके अंदर दो फोल्ड प्रोड्यूस होते हैं पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल के अंदर. एक क्रीनियल पार्ट में है, एक कॉर्डल पार्ट में है. क्रीनियल पार्ट को हमने प्लूरो पेरिकार्डियल फोल्ड बोला है और कॉर्डल पार्ट को हमने प्लूरो पेरिटोनियल फोल्ड बोला है, ठीक है. So the pleuropericardial fold, it will separate the pericardial cavity from the pleural cavities as they enlarge, and gradually अब ये जो fold है, it will become membranous. Why? Because the lung is continuously expanding and these folds will grow towards each other. उधर की साइड का भी, ये तो एक तरफ का है, दूसरी तरफ का भी fold develop हो रहा होगा. Both the folds will grow towards each other in the midline, right? So as the pleuroperitoneal fold enlarges, it projects, this is the pleuroperitoneal fold, it enlarges, it projects into the pericardio-peritoneal canal. Now gradually the fold becomes membranous and forms the pleuroperitoneal membrane. So this pleuroperitoneal fold, it also enlarges, and as the lung grows it becomes membranous. So both will finally become membranous. So the pleuropericardial fold, since it is separating the pericardial cavity and also because of the growing lung, it will be dragged ventrally and slightly medially. So it will form the, later on it will form the fibrous pericardium of the heart, right? And this one is the pleuroperitoneal membrane, which will finally form a part of the diaphragm, right? So we have two folds we have developed over here in the pleuropericardial canal, that is the pleuropericardial fold, which is cranial fold, which will form the pleuropericardial membrane, and a caudal fold, which is the pleuroperitoneal fold. Okay, which will form the pleuroperitoneal membrane. So over here you can have a better look of what I was trying to tell. That is, this is a cut section on the cranial part of the embryo. So over here what you will see, this one is the developing heart, this is the developing pericardial cavity, right? So this one is the developing bronchial bud, that is the lung bud. It is invaginating into these pleuropericardial canals. Okay, so now the two folds have appeared. ठीक है, तो एक होगा प्लूरो पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल होगा एक, और एक प्लूरो पेरिकार्डियल फोल्ड है. ठीक है, सो देयर इज अ प्लूरो पेरिकार्डियल फोल्ड क्रेनियली एंड प्लूरो पेरिटोनियल फोल्ड कॉर्डली. वो इस सेक्शन में नहीं दिखेगा. जो प्लूरो पेरिटोनियल फोल्ड है वो इस सेक्शन में हमें नहीं दिख रहा है. ठीक है, तो जब ये पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल फोल्ड दोनों मिड लाइन में एक दूसरे की तरफ ग्रो कर रहा है, एज यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, these are the pleuropericardial fold. They will grow towards each other in the midline and they will completely divide this pericardial primitive pericardial cavity into a pericardial cavity proper and the two pleural cavities. So the inner layer of the pleuropericardial membrane lines the pericardial cavity. So this is the pericardial cavity and it will form the fibrous pericardium. Okay, so over here you can see this is the inner layer of the pleuropericardial membrane and it is also forming a component of the fibrous pericardium. Now how the mesenteries are formed? What are mesentery firstly? So mesentery is a double layer of peritoneum, ठीक है, that begins as an extension of the visceral peritoneum covering an organ. तो अब जो ऑर्गन है वो कहाँ का है? वो हमारे प्रिमिटिव गट से डिराइव होगा, तो वो योग सैक में बनेगा. अब ऑर्गन को क्या चाहिए? ब्लड सप्लाई. वो कहाँ से आएगी? फ्रॉम द मीजोडर्म. अब मीजोडर्म कौन सी है यहाँ पे जो इसको लाइन कर रही है? दैट इज प्लैंक्नोफ्लोरिक मीजोडर्म और द विसरल peritoneum. इसको हमने visceral peritoneum भी बोल दिया. So what is a mesentery? It is a double layer of peritoneum that begins as an extension of visceral peritoneum covering an organ. Now the mesentery connects organ to the body wall and it will convey the blood vessels as well as the nerves. ठीक है, so transiently अब यहाँ पे क्या दिख रहा है? यहाँ पे lateral folding is there. This is intraembryonic coelom. This is the visceral peritoneum attached to the primitive gut. Over here you can see. Now here the two peritoneal cavities are formed. ठीक है, initially दो limbs मिले, तो initially there is a ventral mesentery also and a dorsal mesentery also. ठीक है, ऑर्गन्स कहाँ डेवलप होंगे? सारे हमारे जीआईटी के इसके अंदर प्रिमिटिव गट में. तो हमारी नर्व सप्लाई, ब्लड सप्लाई कहाँ से आएगी? फोल्ड ऑफ मिजेंट्री से, फोल्ड ऑफ पेरिविस्ट्रल पेरिटोनियम से, यानी कि वेंट्रल एंड डॉर्सल मिजेंट्री के थ्रू. Now with the due course of time what happens? This ventral mesentery, it will disappear, right? So a continuous peritoneal cavity will be formed and the ventral mesentery will disappear everywhere except certain parts. ठीक है, ठीक है, except at the caudal to the part of the foregut, that is primordium of the stomach and proximal part of the duodenum. केवल वहाँ पर ventral mesentery रह जाती है, बाकी हर जगह ये disappear हो जाती है and only the dorsal part of the mesentery remains. So the artery supplying the primordial gut, that is the foregut, is the celiac trunk, will come through this fold of mesentery. The superior mesentery artery is the artery of the midgut and the inferior mesenteric artery is the artery of the hindgut. So all these three passes between the layers of this dorsal mesentery. So this is how the mesenteries are formed. Now the diaphragm I am continuing in my next part, the second part of this lecture.